like to welcome everyone to the December Elizabethton Board of Education meeting. Before we call the meeting to order, the first item on the agenda after an election, which by the way, we welcome Dr. Bob Lewis, his first meeting serving the board. We appreciate your willingness to serve and want to welcome you and glad you're with us. Thank you. So the very first item after an election is the election of a chairman and a vice chair. So at this time, we'll open the floor for nominations for chairman for the board.
I'd like to make a nomination that Mr. Pless continue as chairman and Ms. Schaff continue as the vice chairman. They've served us well this past year.
Mm-hmm. I'll second that.
Well, that was quick. So I appreciate that. Are there any other nominations? Okay, hearing none, yeah, thank you. All those in favor of me serving as the chair and Ms. Schaff serving as the vice chair say aye.
Aye.
Ain't any opposed? All right. So, all right, now we will call this meeting to order. At this time, we will have a moment of silence and a pledge to the flag, and I'll turn it over to Mr. Van Huss.
Would you please stand for a moment of silence? Thank you. Attention, salute, pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
It's now time to approve consent agenda and regular agenda. Can I get a motion to approve?
Motion to approve.
And a second?
Second.
Second. Any items need to be moved or onto the regular or any concerns there? Okay, seeing none, items to approve consent agenda and regular agenda. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? And there are none. It's now time for citizens to speak. We did have a citizen request to speak. I do not know Ms. Thompson, just checking to see if she is here. Okay. I do not see her, so we will move on to special recognitions, and I'll turn it over to Mr. Van Huss to do those.
Thank you, Mr. Pless. This is always the best part of any meeting that we have when we recognize not only our students but members of the community that have contributed so much to what goes on in our school system. So at this time, if I'm not sure if Mr. Colbert, if you want to come up and say anything along with Mr. Lee to talk about the Elizabethton High School robotics team and their projects this year.
Yes, it is my privilege to introduce Mr. Lee. That's about the extent of what I have to do. When you got good people around you, you don't have to do as much. So Mr. Lee's been a great addition. And what they're doing with robotics is we have actually 3 sets of robotics the kids might want to talk about, but the Robot Drone League, some underwater thing I never do remember the initials for, and then the battle bots they do in class. But Mr. Lee and his kids are fabulous, and I'll let him explain all that.
Thank you,
Mr. Van Huss, Mr. Plez, and our distinguished board members, it's an honor to be in front of you again tonight, and I'm just blessed beyond measure. I tell Mr. Van Huss and Mr. O'Quinn and Mr. Plez and Dr. Minton and anybody I get to talk to that I've got the best job I've ever had in my entire life. And I have a board that supports me. I have a community that's behind us. I have an administration that's absolutely awesome. But the best part of my job is the students that I get to work with every day. And I am beyond proud to recognize them here tonight. We're gonna bring them up, and I'll tell you a little bit about what they've done and what they've accomplished so far this year. But as we bring them up here, you guys come on up. I'd like to introduce the 2024 RDL Southwest Virginia and Eastern Tennessee regional champions. It's an amazing group of young people that I get to work with, and they work extremely hard. This robotics team, as Mr. Colbert was saying, they work very hard to compete in RDL, which is the Robot Drone League. They compete in MATE. It's MATE, which is our underwater robotics. And then several of them in my classroom also get to do BattleBots, as he said. But this particular competition was very special because last year it was the first competition this team attended where they won the Rookie Award last year. And we were determined to top that this year. And as we went to the region, not only did we win the region, but we demolished the competition there, winning every award available in our category. So with that being said, I'll hand these out because the kids will have them to take pictures with you folks. But the Professor's Award, my seniors come. The Showcase Award, the Top Scorer Award, and the Champions Award, which I'll let Mr. Wolf hold. And I'll tell you each of the students that are here. Got a freshman with me tonight, Joshua Ashe. He is a new addition to our team, but has done a wonderful job and has jumped in programming and a lot of other things that we have to offer. Nathan Edwards, second year on the team with me. He is a sophomore this year. He and Lucas work very hard in programming, and he's going to be sliding into one of my seniors' positions next year as part of our leadership role. Lucas Gillenwater was unable to be with us tonight, but he is a phenomenal programmer on our team and does some amazing things for us. Anna Blackwell is unable to be with us tonight, but she is our design specialist and completes all the designs. 3D CAD drawings that are just absolutely amazing that are on display for everybody to look at all the work that we do. Bryson Rowland, who has stepped into many things and done a wonderful job with construction with us, and also is learning part of our driving mechanisms for our different robots. Xander Jones is in his second year with me, and he is a amazing young man that does just about anything that I ask, and is one of our robot drivers as well. Grace Woodby is one of my seniors. Ariana Bashir is one of my seniors, and Victor Gupta are one of my seniors that are unable to be with us tonight, but all fill valuable roles on the team, accommodating us with scoring, as well as working on construction and being part of our pit crews. They'll all be continuing their education in college this year. My next senior who is with me tonight, Mr. Dillo, Caleb Dillo here, is already attending TCAT, and Caleb has phenomenal skills when it comes to construction and a mind that is second to none and the ability to do the work that he does. Kylie Vance Osborne is one of my senior captains who does a phenomenal job and is my right hand. She, anything that I ask her to do, she does for me and kind of holds this team together. And beyond a shadow of a doubt, Cole Wolf is the heart and soul of this team right now. He is our drone pilot, a phenomenal young engineer that has already been accepted to UT and is waiting acceptance to possibly at Virginia Tech, where he plans to continue his career as an engineer. So as I tell each and every one of you, I'm beyond blessed to be their coach, and they have qualified for the national competition, which will be held January 25th at ETSU, where we intend to bring home all the awards again. Thank you very much.
Mr. Lee, if you'll come over in the picture as well, please.
Congratulations, guys. Great job.
Thank you. Next, we would like to recognize Harper Shelton. If she would make her way up here to the front and Mr. Wampler, if you don't care to come up as well. So we started something new this year. We've never issued a Christmas card from the school system. And so we wanted to try to start that this year, and we just love the idea of maybe getting some student artwork to be the focal point of that card. And so we reached out to the different art teachers across the school system and said, hey, if you have students that may be interested in submitting some artwork that we may consider. And so that certainly happened, and Harper had just an incredible design that we have a copy here we'll show everyone as well. But Mr. Wampler, if you'll talk a little bit more about Harper.
If this is the first time you've been able to see Harper, this is the first of many, because this is exactly the kind of student that we want to emulate and keep moving. This project actually started as a Keep Carter County Beautiful project. Miss Harris brought that in, and the success we've seen here has inspired her to do that with all classes this year, I think, or at least all fifth graders. So you could say that she set the example, or she got the trend going. But that all transpired. I don't know if we'd even opened up gifts last year. We were talking, saying, hey, get me permission. So Harper's parents are huge supporters in our school system, obviously, as a teacher and a stakeholder in the community. But just all around, exactly, just good things. As mentioned a while ago, exactly what we want to be doing here is recognizing our students that are stepping up and showing out a little bit. So we're very proud of her.
Absolutely, and again, the artwork, if you can't see it, but it has the monument on there. It also has the Fraser Fir, the little courthouse building, not the courthouse itself, but the adjacent building, and then the Christmas tree on top of Lynn Mountain. So I can't think of anything that represents Christmas in Elizabethton more than this card. So congratulations, Harper. We're very proud of you. Absolutely. Mr. Wampler, why don't you come over? On the fly. Thank you, Harper. Next up, we will recognize Bryson Harden for his qualifying for the TSSAA State Golf Tournament, and Coach Enzer is going to share a little information about that and about Bryson and his journey to this incredible accomplishment for a freshman.
Yeah, so Bryson's a freshman on the boys golf team with us. Had a tremendous year, overcome some injuries, and then throughout the tournaments, obviously with the circumstances, with the floods, so forth, so on, overcome a lot of adversity there as well. Speaks to his character, his parents, and his raising also. But he went down to Sevierville, competed at the highest level of golf in the state of Tennessee, and held his own as a freshman. And obviously, we look forward to doing that again and coming back up here and being back in front of you guys, hopefully next year. Okay.
How many freshmen qualified that didn't participate because their team qualified? How many individual freshmen?
That was one, and he's it. So there was one freshman in the entire state that qualified as an individual, and he was able to accomplish that.
Wow, yeah, that's great. Congratulations.
Good job.
Okay, next up, we'd like to recognize our, I guess now, former mayor, Kurt Alexander, for all of his contributions to not only the citizens of Elizabethton and the community, but especially the school system as well. So we have a plaque we want to give him. So the board, we're all going to come down here, and I'll read the plaque, and then if you'd allow us, we'll all take a picture with you. So if you'll come on down, and then I'll read. Okay, so again, we just can't thank Kurt Alexander enough. I've known Kurt for a long time. We go way back. I guess we were 6 years old, maybe. First grade at Westside. So we've been college roommates. We've done a little bit of everything together. Some things we won't talk about. But
I was hoping you would stop there.
but in all seriousness, you can't look around our school system, certainly from a facility standpoint, and not see Kurt's contributions to the many things that students in Elizabethton will benefit from for years and years and years. I mean, we couldn't have done it without him. You know, they always dread seeing me coming because I'm always asking for money and handout. Thank you. You're not getting that back.
My wallet in your pocket there.
But in all seriousness, we really appreciate him. We couldn't do it without him, and the relationship we've had with City Council and the mayor has just been incredible. So this just says, presented to Kurt Alexander, Mayor of the City of Elizabethton, in grateful recognition of your 20 years of dedicated service to the citizens, students, and schools of Elizabethton. Your unwavering commitment, leadership, and steadfast support have made a lasting impact on our community. Your legacy of service will continue to inspire future generations. From the Elizabethton Board of Education. So, congratulations.
Richard said he wanted me to say something, and I never turned down my chance to talk to him. What I want to do is, first of all, thank this Board of Education, because you all are the ones that get it done. I mean, when we see Richard coming, we know what that means, but that's his job. I used to aggravate Ed Alexander all the time. Anytime we would see Ed, okay, what does he want to build now? But my job as mayor, we did a lot of great things. I think as a city, if you look around this city 20 years ago and then look today at the things that have done, have been accomplished, and it's not just me. I was lucky enough to drive the bus, but we had groups on city council that bought into what we were trying to do. And the school board, I think it was Randy Lacey came to me 18 years ago when I first took over as mayor, and he said, we've got to do something at Eastside. I said, well, tell me what we need to do. So I think Ed Alexander was the director of schools, and we got with Ed, and that started a number of projects at every school. And so 18, 19 years later, we're what, $20 million in. And I tell everybody, Ed Alexander is the only person in this world that can get people to vote to tax themselves more. And they got the sales tax raise to benefit these capital improvements for these schools, and that's something that we could never do. We would never have this football stadium, this band room at the high school, these gymnasiums at these elementary schools, and these classrooms. Had it not been for that, it's because of you all and the board that worked so well with city council. We have such a great relationship with all of you guys. And I'm not going to say that I'm going to miss that, because I'll still be around. But it's just great to go out when things are going so well. And I know we've got a great board. Dr. Bob, thanks for agreeing to serve.
Yes, sir. My
Obviously,
pleasure.
you didn't call me and talk to me before. You may be sitting home having fun tonight as well. But,
We didn't tell him about the pay.
the pace a little bit to be desired. But just wanted to thank you all again and encourage you to continue moving this school system forward. I would put this school system up against any in the state, and I know you all do. And the relationship that the city council has with the school board, you don't find that in many cities and counties. If you look at most cities and counties, they're fighting all the time about what we're not going to do. Well, what we do is find out how we can get something done. And I encourage you, I thank you, appreciate what you've done. This will go on my wall so that I can
I'm going to come
smile
by and see.
and say,
Want to make sure.
you know, I'm glad I don't have to do that anymore. I appreciate your all's willingness to serve. Merry Christmas. Thank you all.
Thank you.
I got a date. No kids. this time too, before we get into the more regular part of the meeting, if anyone needs to leave after that, you're free to go at this time. We do thank you for being here, and you're welcome to stay, Zach. So, but I understand, we do have a lot of activities going on, so thank you. We'll move on to reports, and we'll start with Mr. Van Huss with the director's report.
Okay, so again, I would like to again welcome Dr. Bob Lewis to the board, and again, just reiterate all those things that just your willingness to serve, we really appreciate that. It's an incredible board. We're so blessed. I'm blessed, but who's really blessed is our community and our students because of the love that each of you have for what goes on in this school system, and that we always try to focus on what's best for our kids. So thank you all for serving and welcome. Just a quick update on capital projects across the system. The CDEC will officially be completed tomorrow. The last phase is a new door at the entrance. They have to change out the storefront there so we can have a card reader on there for access. But the maintenance staff finished up the countertop in the kitchen area as well as some plumbing work there. So it's finished. So we're really excited about that. It's already been used this week quite a bit already. So we're working out all those issues. It's just going to be a great space. It's going to be a great addition for the system, really going to help us to be able to provide some spaces to do some different activities. Harold McCormick, still working on the punch list there. There's some things they're going to finish up over Christmas break. We've talked about doing a tour with City Council and School Board. What I would like to do is maybe go ahead and combine that tour along with a ribbon cutting activity for the CDEC and Harold McCormick as well. So we'll talk more about that in January. We'll look for a date there in early February to do that. And we'll all jump on a big yellow school bus and ride around and cut some ribbon and look, just give you a chance in the city as well to look at the various projects going on. On the high school campus, the Dave Ryder Center for Athletic Performance continues to progress. We had our final piece of state fire marshal approval on some changes we had to make that dealt with the fire line to the building. They're waiting to pour footers, but as you know, this week it's been warm, but it's been wet, and it's hard to dig and pour footers when it's that wet. So things will start picking up as we move through Christmas and get beyond Christmas. They have plans already to start delivering the different components for the building itself. So by the time we have our tour with City Council, it will be well underway, and you'll be able to really see some progress there. Again, just congratulations to all those individuals that we recognize today, students, and again, obviously the mayor. Again, just really appreciate it. It's great to see how our students excel in whatever they do, and the fact that we're able to offer those different experiences for those students, again, reflects directly on you and your support. You know, when we come up with a harebrained idea about, hey, we want to try to do this, you guys have always been great to get behind us and support that. So again, thank you for that, and congratulations to all of them. I also want to say one more congratulations to Dr. Newman. Again, as you know, she was a finalist for the State Supervisor of the Year. So if you think about it, within the last 3 years, we had a finalist for Supervisor of the Year as well as Teacher of the Year. And for a system our size, I think that speaks to what the great work that's going on here. Now, while she didn't win the big state award, I demanded a recount, but they wouldn't do that. We already knew she was Supervisor of the Year. We don't care what they said down there, but it was I had an opportunity to go down and be at the banquet with Dr. Newman and her husband and son. So thank you for that opportunity to go, but just very proud of her and the work that she does. And she's one example of we could go across the board with teachers and all the different staff we have, custodians, bus drivers that go above and beyond, again, just because they love kids. So again, just wanted to say one more time, congratulations to Dr. Newman. We already talked about the ribbon cutting ceremonies and combining those. I would be remiss if we didn't also congratulate Westside for being recognized as a reward school this year. They had a great year last year. I think you reward school for achievement and growth both. Is that correct? So again, that's for those of you that are in the education field. Sometimes it's very hard when you have high achievement to also be recognized for growth at the same time. Sometimes those things kind of compete with them when you have high achievement. So the ability to be able to do that is phenomenal, and we congratulate them, certainly. And again, that's not to make light of all the great work that's going on across the school system as well. But again, just wanted to give them a congratulations for their hard work. The district report card was released today. We'll be working on some information there, and we'll have a presentation for you about the results of that report card. We'll do that at the January meeting. And that is my report. Merry Christmas.
Thank you, Mr. Van Huss. It's now time for board members to report. Does anybody have anything that they would like to share?
I would. My family and I really enjoyed some of the Christmas. We've gone to the band concert, which was phenomenal.
Yes,
Oh
it
my
was.
Goodness. And we went to T.A. Duggar's Christmas program, and the talent is amazing. I mean, and then the preschool, they were at First Baptist yesterday, and to get 80 preschoolers on a stage and them sing, what, eight to 10 songs, knew all the words, knew all the punchlines. I mean, it was just, that's just, our teachers are just amazing, and our music teachers and just everybody in the system. But also I saw on Facebook that Larry Adams, one of our bus drivers, bought donuts for all the students on his bus
Wow.
this morning because he put bad day to miss school on bus, whatever bus he was. So he was holding a big Dunkin' Donut box, and I thought, how neat that was. So
He's put the pressure on the rest of
that's
them.
right. That's right. So we were just blessed.
We
Elizabethton
are.
City Schools.
It
the
is.
talent is amazing.
It's probably my favorite time of the year to go to those events. Like you said, the chorus concert was incredible. The band concert was incredible. And just to see how our community enjoys those
Yeah.
events too. I mean, it's just, if you're not in the spirit, Christmas spirit, when
You
you
will
leave
be.
there, you're probably not
Yes.
going to, you're definitely Ebenezer Scrooge. So,
Yes.
Okay, thank you, Jane. Anyone else? Again, just from all of us, welcome. Again, to Dr. Lewis, we really do appreciate your willingness, again, to serve. And obviously, when we do have opportunities to go to trainings and things, if there's anything you'd like to bring back and share, we would love to hear that. And to Mr. Alexander, again, I know we thanked him last week, but again, just to come back in the role that he did, the way he did, that was something else as well. City Council Liaison Report. I know Mr. Simley's actually supporting some of our students right now as our girls are participating in a large holiday tournament. So he's there supporting them. And our guys are also playing in about 2 minutes. So our student liaison, Hudson Smith, who's a member of the boys basketball team, can't be here tonight as well. So we want to wish both of those groups good luck tonight. It's now time to move on to the regular agenda. First item on the regular agenda is to approve the following teachers being recommended for tenure. And I'm going to go ahead and let Mr. Van Huss go ahead and bring those up and take care of that. So, Mr. Van Huss.
yes, if you're here, if you're on the list, come on up here and smile real big. A lot of hard work goes into getting to this point.
It's a big deal. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, all of them. Yay. Who? Oh, I'm sorry, one, Devin. Yeah. I'm sorry.
So again, this is an incredible group of educators. This is another awesome part about Christmas. It seems that since we have all this state testing and teacher evaluation, all these things, by the time all that information's in, this is the time of year when we get verification on teachers that have earned tenure. So when you think about all the things that teachers are responsible for, and to excel and get to this point is a huge milestone. And when you look at these educators, these are certainly the best of the best right here. So we're very thankful that they're here. Their contributions are immense all across the system in the schools that they represent, and so we're very excited about this. And it's my pleasure to present to the board for this group for consideration.
Okay. So from East Side, Miss Brittany Johnson and Kendall Treadway. From T.A. Duggar Junior High, Abigail Thacker, Hannah Calhoun, Devin Whitehead. And from Elizabethton High School, Sarah Heatherly, Chantel, is it Sastry? Sastre?
Pretty
All
good.
right.
That's pretty good.
All right. And Jessica Lynn Honeycutt. So again, any discussion about anything here? The vote is to approve those teachers to be recommended for tenure. All those in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? And there are none, and congratulations to all.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
And again, since you've earned this honor, if you would like to leave, we're not going to hold it against you now.
Merry Christmas.
So, Merry Christmas to all of you all, and congratulations. A huge step in this profession. Okay. Is that okay? We'll figure it out. You want to backtrack to the motion?
You can if you want to.
I got excited there, which is not unusual. So we're going to go back and we're going to make sure we do this the right way. So first thing, can I get a motion that we recommend tenure?
Motion to approve.
Okay, and a second. All right, then all those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Now they can go. All right. So thank you.
We won't tell them that the first time didn't count.
Yeah, just a little teaser. All right. Next item, approve corporate purchasing contract with Central Technologies to install cameras, access control, and halo sensors in the Dave Ryder Center for Athletic Performance at a cost of $42,261.44. Can I get a motion to approve?
Motion to approve.
And a second?
Second.
Second. All right.
So these items are pretty straightforward. There will be a camera in various locations, both inside and outside the building for obvious security reasons. We obviously will be having classes inside, so those are large spaces, so it's important to have some surveillance in there as well from a safety standpoint for students as well as just protection of the facility. Also included in that is all the access control, the card readers for flow in and out of the building to make sure that that remains secure, as well as the halo sensors, which are the vape sensors that we have in our restrooms. And so this particular facility will have individual restrooms, so each one of those spaces will have one of these sensors. So if anyone's in there trying to vape, as you know, the technology that we have now, if that happens at the high school, the administrators get an email, text alert, and that allows them to go down and do an investigation. So we felt like it was important to have, since there would be students in that space, that we made sure we added those as well. Again, this is a cooperative purchasing, so it meets the qualifications for meeting the bid qualification, and so I'd respectfully ask you to consider approving this item.
Is this cost included in the original bid price, or is this an addition to the bid?
This is an addition, and so what we hope to do is counteract that with some contingency that we still have built into the project, so that at the end, our hope is that we would be able to roll that in and cover that. But we do have, Miss Wilson, she wouldn't allow me to do it if we didn't have it. So she'd tell me no when she tells me no.
Any other questions? Any comments? Okay. The item is to approve corporate purchasing contract with Central Technologies to install cameras, access control, and halo sensors in the Dave Ryder Center for Athletic Performance at a cost of $42,261.44. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. And any opposed? And there are none. Next item, approve grant agreement amendment number 2 between Elizabethton City Schools and the XQ Institute for December 19th, 2024 through July 30th, 2026. Can I get a motion to approve?
Motion.
A motion. Can I take one of those as a second? All right. Thank you. we've seen this, but go ahead
Yes,
and give us.
yes. So at this time, I'd ask Dr. Minton to come up and share a little bit about what this grant would be and what our intentions would be as a school system, how this would help the students at Elizabethton High School.
Thank you. It's really hard to believe that it's been almost a decade since we submitted the original application for the Super School Grant. Dr. Boatman and Mr. Hensley were both present for that. Mr. Hensley was very instrumental, along with our students, in the application to rethink high school and to be innovative in the approach to do things differently. And so becoming part of that Super School network really afforded us opportunities both to grow professionally, our students to do things differently. It afforded opportunities for the entire high school to be able to expand and again give students different ways that they could learn. We learned along the way. We learned about things that were successful. We learned and stumbled over our own feet as well about things that wouldn't work, and that's part of the learning experience for both the students, the teachers, and ourselves as well. So I want to talk a little bit about the extension. It would be through 2025-26, the end of the school year next year. So XQ reached out to us at the conclusion of our original grant about an extension, the potential of that. The good news about the extension was that our input, of course, was priority. We talked to them about what that would look like. In reflection of the original grant, what was really a strength of the original grant and how we grew from it, and our community partnerships, which is something that our community, we're strong there with our school regardless of the grant. But the ability to secure the grant and have a community partnership director at the time, which we've restructured that to be a coordinator in this recent grant, or the one that you have available to you now to look at. Creating a community partnership advisory group that was able to secure resources and grants for our students to start school-based enterprises, scholarship funding, and a lot of different things. And so when they reached out to us to talk about that, we looked at the budget that they were proposing and that we worked on together to look at ways that we could continue to provide professional development for our teachers and student opportunities and instructional supplies, even consultant support for areas of interested growth in places that we want to continue to grow, and of course personnel support in the position of the community partnership advisor or coordinator rather. The reason that we want to keep that position is because we felt like that the addition of that position and the creation of the CPAG, as a short for Community Partnership Advisory Group, really brought a ton of growth for our students to have a chance to display their learning in front of an authentic audience. The extension of the grant, if we were able to keep this, and it was voted on tonight, would allow us to leverage both CTE and our new funding formula to try to get out into the community and secure as many work-based learning and practicum and internship possibilities, both locally, potentially regionally, and within our school, to give students before they leave our doors, more students, the opportunity to get out and get real-world learning experiences, both to improve our community in Elizabethton and Carter County, but also get a chance to maybe not figure out what they want to do, but sometimes the high school experience is figuring out what you don't want to do. And so we want to try to bust the walls down a little bit for our students, more of our students, so they can get out and experience those work-based learning and practicum experiences along the way. So you have a copy of the budget, and again, the extension is proposed to go through the end of next school year. Part of the initial grant installment, if it's approved, would back pay us for the first semester for this year, because we've been working on different parts of the agreement in concert with Mr. Van Huss and several other staff members. So I'll be happy to take questions, but we're excited about it because we've really had an opportunity again to learn what's helped us, learn things that didn't work for us, and really capture all that and agree to looking at funding for another couple years to try to just leverage that growth and try to get better. So again, I'll be happy to take any questions if you have them.
I have one. We've talked briefly about, but you might want to share with the board the possibility of an extension beyond this 2 years, what that conversation's been.
Yeah, so when we talked this second time, the funding, can't think of the exact term, but the way that they're funding now is not on the same fiscal year as ours, and so they agreed to go ahead and push us through the end of next school year and look at another extension. And so when we originally talked, what was proposed was a 4-year extension. that would have the equivalent amount of money each year. But the grant was drafted in a way that pushed us through the end of 2025-26, and would likely, if we extended it beyond that, would only include the addition of some type of sustainability plan, which was in the original plan as well, if we wanted to keep the position or keep doing the things that we're doing so that we could absorb those. I think that's true with most grants. When you receive funding for grants, is a sustainability plan. So that's not in this one, but if we had an extension for 2 more years, that would hopefully be for a total of 4, and we would build a sustainability plan after that.
And as you know, these work-based learning opportunities are also opportunities for the school system. You know, when students do those, that qualifies them and the system for additional funding based on some of those things that they earn. And there's a formula, and it all plays into that. So the hope would be that we see so much positive from this that it almost generates funding to be able to justify to keep the position, if that makes sense long-term. So.
Yeah, there's also some other really unique things that we wouldn't be able to take advantage of had it not been being part of the network. Some of the communities of practice with other schools around the nation, and also being able to host other schools, maybe even potentially with the Appalachian Regional Learning Network, which is part of our milestones. We draft those on our own. So it's a lot like a school improvement plan, really. It's something that we have a team of a few folks that look at it. We took some feedback from our faculty a while back before we even went with the proposal about what we were considering doing, and if we I made myself available and our administrative team throughout the day during the entire school day to talk to our faculty and allow them to come in and talk about concerns that they had or interests and ideas, and we got some really valuable feedback. And so all in all, there's going to be some really good professional learning opportunities, not just for our staff, but also for our students. And then hopefully, maybe we'll be able to build a plan that other people can learn from too, even locally, which is really neat. We always want to be leading the way if we can, and so this is just another way to do that.
Okay, any other questions or comments? They certainly have been a good partner.
They have, yes,
to us.
yes, sir. Thank you. Merry
Okay.
Christmas.
The item is to approve grant agreement amendment number 2 between Elizabethton City Schools and the XQ Institute for December 19th, 2024 through July 30th, 2026. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. And any opposed? And there are none. Motion carries. Kind of attached to that, next item, approve to create 1 full-time certified position for a community partnership coordinator to be funded through the XQ grant amendment number 2. Can I get a motion to approve?
Motion to approve.
Motion and a second. And a second, all right.
Well, obviously, we're not going to have much to spend on the money if you not going to have much to spend that money on if you don't approve this. But, so.
Any questions? All right, so the item is to approve to create the 1 full-time certified position for community partnership coordinator to be funded through the XQ grant amendment number 2. All those in favor say aye. Aye. And any opposed? And there are none. Next item, approve to ratify the creation of 2 full-time classified teacher assistant positions to meet the needs of special education students. Motion to approve?
Motion to approve.
And a second?
Second.
All right.
As you know, there are times throughout the school year that, based on an IEP team meeting decision, that it's determined that a student may need a one-on-one assistant, and that's exactly what this is. We've had two separate situations that require this, and so, you know, when that happens, we certainly don't want to wait. Once that IEP team has met and they've decided that, we certainly don't want to wait till the next board meeting to get the services for those students in place. So I appreciate your consideration for ratification of this after the fact.
Okay. All right. The item is to approve to ratify the creation of 2 full-time classified teacher assistant positions to meet the needs of special education students. All those in favor say aye. Aye. And any opposed? And there are none. Next item, approve 3-year contract between Elizabethton City Schools and Sherry Grubb Photography for grades pre-K through 8 students and staff portraits beginning in the 2025-2026 school year, with the option to renew annually for an additional 2 years. Can I get a motion to approve?
Motion to approve.
And a second.
Second.
All right.
So yes, so we met as an administrative team and started having discussions about our photography services. This started last year, and so there was a desire from the principals to maybe put out an RFP and just see what was out there and try to get some structure around what we're doing. So we did that. We put out an RFP. We had, I think, 5 different entities that submitted proposals. And based on that, after we reviewed that with the principals and administrative team, they made the decision to go with a 3-year contract with Sherry Grubb for those items listed there. So she does a lot of work for us now. They're very pleased with the performance, and it was never about not being pleased with what was happening, but just felt like it was time to just put a feeler out there and see what was available. So.
Okay. Any other comments or questions? Okay, the item is to approve a 3-year contract between Elizabethton City Schools and Sherry Grubb Photography for grades pre-K through 8 student and staff portraits beginning in the 2025-2026 school year with the option to renew annually for an additional 2 years. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? And there are none. All right. Next item, very similar, approved 3-year contract between Elizabethton City Schools and Randall Bennett Photography for senior portraits and athletic team photography for grades 6 through 8, beginning in the 2025-2026 school year, with the option to renew annually for an additional 2 years. Can I get a motion to approve?
Motion to approve.
And I'll take one of those as a second. All right.
Well, the first thing I'm going to do is ask you to consider a correction.
Okay, because it doesn't have the high school.
Well, it should be 612 athletic
612, that's
photographs. So if we
All
could get a
right.
motion to amend that.
All right, I'll make a motion to amend the item as written to say, approve 3-year contract between Elizabethton City Schools and Randall Bennett Photography for senior portraits and athletic team photography for grades 6 through 12, beginning in the 2025-2026 school year, with the option to renew annually for an additional 2 years. Can I get a motion to approve that?
Motion to approve.
And a second.
Second.
Okay, and a second. All right.
So I want to apologize for that because that's my mistake that was left at grade 8. So Mr. Bennett would be handling all of the athletic photography, again, for T.A. Duggar and the high school. He would also take care of senior portraits. The reason the other grades are not included is Daniel Profit and his yearbook staff will continue to do that photography there in-house. But there, as you know, those of you that have had seniors, there's a lot involved in those pictures, and having someone that can be dedicated to do that. That's why we felt like it was important to try to maybe like
media day as well.
That's right. That's the main focus. Randall will do media day photography, so we have some structure around that. There'll still be opportunities for individuals if they want to, have someone take pictures of their child, action photos during games. We're not limiting that, but this just puts some. That's what Randall will handle. The team photographs and things like that at media day. Thank you.
And photography is different than it used to be. What they can do, I mean, it just blows my mind what you see, and it's not just for professionals and collegiates. It's
Golden Studios, all we had.
That was
yeah,
it.
was it. Yes, it was. It was. Okay. So the item is to approve a 3-year contract between Elizabethton City Schools and Randall Bennett Photography for senior portraits and athletic team photography for grades 6 through 12, beginning the 2025-2026 school year, with the option to renew annually for an additional 2 years. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? And there are none. Last item on the agenda, to approve the 2026-2027 school year calendar. Get a motion to approve.
Motion to approve.
And a second.
Second.
Okay.
So again, as you know, the calendar process we started a few years ago, excuse me, trying to work 2 years ahead to develop a calendar, because more and more people, as you know, the jobs that they have when they're planning vacations and things like that, they have to know far in advance. So we felt like it was important to try to put the effort in to try to get a calendar out a little bit quicker down the road for planning purposes. So that's what you have before you. Again, as you know, we have a calendar committee made up of 2 representatives from every school. Dr. Newman heads that group up, and they meet regularly to talk about the upcoming calendar. So the calendar you see before you is the one that's been vetted and proposed by that calendar committee. They take those proposed calendars back to their schools, and they get input from their teachers. So that process has worked very, very well for us. So that's what you have before you. If you look on there, do you see anything that anyone has any specific questions about? It's a pretty typical calendar for us. The start of school, Christmas break, those are kind of set. We've kind of settled on that time for spring break is usually around that last full week of March. Seems to be a good split between the start of the second semester prior to testing, but still gives some opportunity for teachers to do some review and get kids ready before TCAP tests begin as well. As you know, professional development days spread out throughout the calendar to allow for opportunities for us to share, different trainings and things like that for our staff. So.
The other items, we thank you. Used to, it was just a year at a time. We didn't have it, again, that far ahead, so.
And I will tell you that on a side note that the 25-26 calendar, and correct me if I'm wrong, Dr. Mitten, I'm not putting you on the spot, but I think that next year, the football schedule, our open date lines up with fall break, I believe. Is that correct? What's that? Currently it does. There's a caveat. But so that way, we've not had that ever that I can remember. So if that holds, that will be a benefit to staff and students as well.
Okay. Right. The items to approve the 2026-2027 school year calendar. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? And there are none. Before we close, if you're a principal and you're here, if you would, please see Ms. Schaff before you leave. I think she has something she needs to talk to you about. So if you'll make sure you see Ms. Schaff. The next regularly scheduled meeting is Thursday, January 16th, 2025. Hard to believe, 2025 at 5:30 here in the boardroom. We wish everyone a Merry Christmas. Can I get a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn. Have a Merry Christmas.
Here's some more cards.
Bob, hope you